Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my TBR list for the Magical Readathon Christmas at Hogwarts edition. All right, so my setup is a little bit different today. I thought I would have the backdrop of the Christmas tree, or at least part of the Christmas tree, since this is the Magical Readathon Christmas at Hogwarts edition. I have my Hogwarts scarf with the different house crests on it, and I have my wand, which I'm not actually going to be using except maybe in the thumbnail, but here it is because everybody else has their wands in their thumbnails. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with what I plan or I'm going to attempt to read for this readathon. There's a YouTube video that describes all the details to this readathon, and I will leave that link down below. In that YouTube video, there are links to these different maps, these different versions of the same map, and basically it kind of is a way to track your progress. So you are a student at Hogwarts finishing your classes for the semester, and then in between your last day of classes and the Christmas feast, there's different things that you can do to occupy your time. So, and those are the different reading challenges. The end goal is attending the Christmas feast, which is watching a Harry Potter movie. So here's what I've decided to do. The very first thing is to finish your coursework, and that means to finish your current read. Now, I'll be honest, I'm in kind of a reading slump in the sense that I've started several books for a previous readathon challenge, but I haven't been able to finish any of them yet. So I'm in the middle of like 4 or 5 books. So this readathon, I'm actually going to be finishing a lot of these books, or I hope I'm going to be finishing a lot of these books. I'm using this as a way to motivate me to finish them. So I know it's not quite within the traditional rules of a readathon, like usually you are starting and completing a book within the readathon, but because I'm having such a hard time finishing books, I want to use this as a motivator for me. Now, it's not because these books are boring. I think it's just more of that I'm getting distracted by other books and I really need to just settle and focus and read one book at a time. So finish your coursework, finish your current read. I'm going to be using this book as the book to fulfill this challenge. This is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I have started this. This is a YA novel that kind of is a retelling of A Christmas Carol with Ebenezer Scrooge, or a Scrooge-like person, except the Scrooge-like person is Holly Chase, and she becomes a ghost of Christmas past after she's visited by 3 ghosts and she doesn't change her ways, and then she dies. So she becomes the ghost of Christmas past, and this is kind of her story. I'm on chapter 4, so about that far of a way into the book, not very far. I hope to finish my coursework and finish this book. After I finish my coursework, I have 2 options. The first is to help Hagrid decorate his trees, and the second one is to have a snowball fight with the Weasley twins. So I think I'm going to help Hagrid decorate his trees. The challenge for that is to read a book with gold detail or golden detail, whereas with the Weasley twins, it's to read a book that you think will be humorous. I'm more likely to read a book with golden detail, and so the book that I chose is going to be this one. It's The Last Mrs. Parrish, and this is by Liv Constantine. This is a book I actually saw recommended from Audible, from Reese Witherspoon's book club, but I didn't want to purchase it on Audible. I decided I'd rather just check it out from the library. So I plan to read this one as my second challenge, helping Hagrid decorate trees. The third challenge is to visit the 3 broomsticks for some mulled pixie wine, and that basically means that I should read a book that I think I can finish within a day or within one evening. So it should be an easier, quicker read. The book I decided to choose for this is Holes by Louis Satcher. So this is actually a book I need to read for work. I work at an English language school, and one of the things that we have our students do is to read an English novel, or read a novel in English. And I've never actually read this. I figured I should probably read it so that when I talk about it with the students, I know what I'm talking about. And since it is a kind of mid-grade, middle grade chapter book, I figure it'll be pretty easy and I can get through it quickly and in one evening. After visiting the 3 broomsticks, there are 3 possible directions that I can go. The first one is to exchange presents in the common room. The second one is to sneak into the kitchen to give Dobby odd socks. And then the last one is to attend the Yule Ball. I thought for this one, based on what the challenges are that correspond to these different activities, that I would go to the kitchens to give Dobby odd socks. And the challenge for this is to read a book with an item of clothing on the cover. So the book that I chose for this one is going to be Cinder, and this is by Marissa Mayer. And as you can see, it has a bright red shoe on the cover, so I'm counting this as the article of clothing. All right, after I visit Dobby in the kitchens, I have 2 possible options that I could do, and one is to put on Molly's knitted sweater, and the other one is to use the invisibility cloak to go into the restricted section. So this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going to go in the direction of putting on Molly's sweater, and that is to read a book that focuses on family or parents. So hear me out. I'm going to be finishing the book Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This doesn't focus on blood family completely, but it does focus on the idea of, I think, people taking care of each other. And to me, that's kind of what family is. Like, if you don't have blood family taking care of you, but you have friends that you can rely on, then that would be considered family. And there's a little bit of element of families and like people who are married and stuff. So my point is that I'm going to kind of consider this as family. This is also a book that I've started. As you can see, I'm partially through this book, but I'm, again, struggling to get through it. Not because it's bad. When I'm reading it, I'm actually really enjoying it, but I find myself getting distracted and then putting it down and then not wanting to pick it back up. I don't know what my deal is. I don't know if it's the weather or if I'm starting to get sick, which I think I am. But anyway, I want to try and finish this one, and I'm going to count this towards the focus on family. All right, so those are the books that I'm going to attempt to read and finish for the Christmas at Hogwarts readathon. I'm curious to know what books you decided to read for this readathon, or what books you're planning to read for the rest of December. Leave your comments down below and I will check on them throughout the week. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.